Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another DC deck building unboxing. This is for crossover pack number 10, Flashpoint. I think this is a great way to use the crossover pack. So far we've done it with like JSA, some of the Rogues, Bombshells, Watchmen. I like the idea of using it for rather than like Legion of the Legion of Superheroes and Justice League, or even the Rogues to an extent. Rather than adding a couple of characters to add in, I like the idea of using it for like alternate timelines or potentially like stories, like Bombshells and Flashpoint are alternates. Watchmen's kind of like an alternate reality in the sense of the story, versus just new characters. So I kind of like that as an idea. But they're gonna add some new mechanics. The only downside I ever have for the crossovers is they usually add some new interesting mechanics to the game, which I never get brought into any of the other games or never repeated a second time. I really wish they'd add more things to come back and give me more value to add more of these cards in there. Alright, this is the Kickstarter version though. So now, unlike Bombshells, which I believe was in the last Kickstarter campaign, which we did Injustice and all that stuff, this one is not Kickstarter exclusive. It just has some Kickstarter exclusive content. So you'll see on the back there, it doesn't mention that in the bottom here in blue. So 2 Kickstarter cards, oversized cards, 4 character cards, plus foils added to all the cards and the packaging. So one thing that might happen is, again, with Bombshells is and this might be the same idea as it may or may not be Kickstarter exclusive in this box, because what they might be doing in the future is only releasing them as the crossovers with 3 sets each. So you might have to get this, Bombshells, and maybe either a previous set or a later set together. So just if you can't find this in retail, that might be why. Cool, so I'll definitely let you only get them Kickstarter cards. There are no bonus cards directly related to this that we got, like first printings, like we've had for some of the other ones, though. It's also kind of weird, though, that the last Kickstarter had Injustice, Alternate Reality, and we had Flash versus Reverse Flash, and we didn't get Flashpoint in that set, which would have kind of tied the two together a little bit. But that's alright. We're going to get our randomizer card, our deck divider for the multiverse box, and then we're going to get some rules. So we're going to look at those really quick because there are some new concepts in here. Says when you're ready to play Flashpoint, choose any base set, follow the set instructions. Zoom down here a little bit farther. Select any oversized Flashpoint superhero shuffle the timeline cards in place of the deck above the timeline. Note that the timeline cards are not shuffled into the main deck. So all these cards have a special new timeline key setup. Let's just look at that rule really quick up at the top. The time lineup provides players with 3 additional cards to choose from when buying cards during their turns, and refills to 3 cards at the end of each turn. When the card refers to the lineup, it does not refer to the time lineup, but to the main lineup. Very confusing. Cards referred to any lineup can affect both. Unlike the main deck, if the time lineup deck runs out, the game does not end. The time lineup card is a paradox. It is too powerful for the main deck and costs less than it should. In Flashpoint, time lineup cards have negative VPs, so like weaknesses. You can buy them and defeat Nemesis faster with the time lineup cards, but the cost your end game of the victory point total. So it's kind of a neat little trade-off. It actually adds a separate full deck. Otherwise, you find your regular, go back to buy your cards, additional roll during the turn. If possible, don't read the Nemesis cards, figure all them out. And then we have other new concept is Nemesis Rewards. In this set, when Nemesis is defeated, its reward card is added. Activated immediately is not gained, but set aside and scored at the end of the game. When you set aside Nemesis, it does not count towards its being played, you do not control it. If the reward gives you instructions you cannot complete, it is still set aside for scoring. This was also set up in the Justice League Dark Big Box. It's kind of a neat mechanic for the fact is in that way you defeat these bigger supervillain or superheroes, which are collectively known as Nemesis now. You defeat one of these bigger characters, the super characters, and you don't gain them to your deck and gain this extra ability from them. You gain a one-time bonus effect, and then they go away. If you haven't checked out the Dark Justice League Dark expansion, you can check out that and see some of those. And then the part 2 of that video, which is the Injustice Dark League expansion, also adds Nemesis reward cards. So you can add this Nemesis effect, or the reward effect, to all the other Nemesis from other games. So it's kind of cool. Alright, we're going to jump in and look at our heroes. Again, they're only foil because of the Kickstarter. Flashpoint Cyborg. You pay 1 less to buy cards in the main lineup with the same card type as the first card you played this turn. So it's kind of cool. As you go along, you can kind of keep getting the same type of cards. Flashpoint Batman. The first time you play a hero each turn, +1 power, and you may put a card you gain from the lineup this turn on top of your deck. So to mention this right away, in case you're not sure what Flashpoint is, I'm going to put the box back up here really quick. So this is an alternate reality where Barry Allen, Flash, decided he wanted to go back in time and save his mother. Ends up basically causing an alternate reality where a bunch of stuff changed. And one of the big things is Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at war. Themyscira is trying to take over. Atlantis is trying to take over. There was no Superman. He is in the game. I'll kind of explain to him when we get to him. Kind of go over some of the different characters as we get to them. But yeah, it's an alternate timeline where everything got shifted a little bit. It's not necessarily like all heroes are good, all villains are, or all heroes are evil, all villains are good. It's a interesting mix of characters. So we have Cyborg here, which you can see the American flag. He basically becomes America's superhero, premium superhero. He does stuff for the government, and stuff like that. Batman here is actually not Bruce Wayne, but Thomas Wayne. It's his father. So in the dark alley, his wife and son got killed, and he took up the mantle as Batman. It became a lot more aggressive. He does use guns and stuff like that. It's just very cool. First time you play a hero, +1 power, you may put a card you gain from the lineup this turn on top of your deck. So basically preparation. Plays a hero, gains power, you may also gain his cards extra. That's definitely some neat artwork with them lightning bolts. The Flashpoint, the Flash. So he did lose his powers for a time, and he had to try and recreate the experiment to gain them. After a card tells you to draw 1 or more cards, you may also put a card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Again, purchase it, now it's in your deck, so you're going to get a little bit quicker. Drawing cards is a very Flash thing. So we have Flashpoint Green Lanterns. This is Abin Sur, who was the Green Lantern before Hal Jordan. So in this universe, he ended up not dying. Once during each of your turns, you may destroy a card in your hand with a cost of 3 or greater. If you do, pay 4 less to buy the next card, the same card type as a destroyed card. Kind of neat. Sacrifice 1 card to gain something a little bit more powerful. Flashpoint Captain Thunder. This is Shazam, but instead goes by Captain Thunder. He's got a very interesting backstory, which we'll get into a little bit later. There's another card that kind of goes with him. And I don't remember, I haven't read this series in a while, and all of it, and I haven't watched the animated series, so I'm trying to remember most of this off the top of my head. Once during each of your turns, you may discard a starter. If you do, play the top card of your deck. And then the last big hero card we have is Flashpoint Superman. Once during each of your turns, if you generate at least 7 power, you may destroy a card you control. So, this Superman is what they did. Is all nice and scrawny and everything. So, the government, you can see Flash and Batman and Cyborg kind of in the shadows. So that's kind of cool. The government captured him as a baby. So instead of the Kents raising him, they shoved him in a facility. Realized that solar radiation gives him power, so they dose him with red radiation all the time. Basically to keep his powers down and experimenting stuff on him. And then when they do rest him, he comes out, but he doesn't have full control over his powers. But yeah, it's still it's pretty neat. If you watched the live action Flash movie, the Flashpoint one, they did the similar concept with Supergirl in there. And in that, you also see me like a Batman. Lots of similar tones in that. They did change some stuff for the cinematic stuff. Alright, we're going to jump in. I think every single character has Flashpoint in front of them. So you have Flashpoint Britannia, new Britain-themed hero. So you have the timeline up over here to keep them a little bit different than regular cards. +2 power. You may put an attack card from your discard pile into your hand. You put a defense card from your discard pile on top of your deck. So that's very cool. So helps boost you up for preparation. You see these guys also cost a lot more, which is they're not starting with like the 2s and the 3s. They're jumping up to 5s and 6 right away. Because again, they're an alternate deck. It's kind of cool, so they're not going to be used right away. They're good to shove in there. So you have Flashpoint, the Canterbury Cricket. Yeah, so they had to find... So basically, Cyborg was the only U.S. hero for the most part. So these are like a lot of the British heroes that came around. There were other heroes as well, but they weren't far and as many as there used to be. Ongoing +2 power and ongoing. After you play another hero, you may put this card in your hand. But again, notice they have negative VPs on the bottom. Flashpoint Citizen Cold. So Captain Cold actually became a hero in this set. This universe. Each foe reveals the top card of their deck and may destroy it. You may play any remaining revealed cards, then return them. If you play no cards this way, +3 power. Flashpoint Mara. +3 power. At the end of your turn, you may put this card at the bottom of your deck. Defense. Put this card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to avoid an attack. If you do, you may draw a card. Alright, so here we have Flashpoint Captain Thunder Kids. So these were a bunch of the different kids that all had powers to help out Captain Thunder. I don't remember if they had to give power to him to create him or if they joined together to form him. I don't remember the exact thing, but it all utilized having all the kids together. And I think this is one of the earlier concepts where they really got into, besides Captain Marvel, Drew, and Mary Marvel, having more of all the different kids having to do stuff with that. I am knocking stuff over. But it says, alright, so pay 6 less to defeat a Nemesis card. Super villains and superheroes this turn. Pass this card to the discard pile of the foe on your right. Then they may destroy it. So neat, you destroy a big card. Now someone else gets it, they can either save it to use it themselves, or they can just screw it. Early in the game, they might keep it. Late in the game, they might get rid of it. And then we have Flashpoint Kid Flash. Draw 3 cards, and defense, destroy this card to win your attack. If you do, draw 4 cards. Now, in the original series, I don't remember there ever being a Kid Flash, because in this universe, there was no Flash, because basically Barry Allen undid his own timeline and removed himself from the timeline when he saved his mom. So he never got his powers, never became Flash. I think this might have been like a re-continuation of the story. They may have went back at one point. Now we're going to get some cool villains. We have Flashpoint Martha Wayne. So I did say his mom, Martha, died, but she did not. Their kid died. Bruce died. And she basically became the Joker. And he became Batman. It's kind of crazy. She snapped when her kid died. Just a fun, interesting take on it. Maybe not fun, interesting take on it. So ongoing at the start of your turn, you may destroy a card in your hand. If you choose not to, destroy this card. Flashpoint Deathstroke. Of course, Deathstroke's still going to be evil. Destroy this card and any number of cards you control. +1 power for each card destroyed this way. Flashpoint Volko. Not for sure who he is, but I'm guessing he's probably a Russian scientist. You may gain the current Nemesis reward, then activate its first appearance attack and destroy this card. If you choose not to, +3 power. So that's pretty cool. You actually interact with the Nemesis deck. Flashpoint Atlanteans. +2 power. Choose a foe. That foe may discard any number of cards. For each remaining card in that foe's hand, +1 power. So yeah, they get kind of... opponent has to dictate how much power they're willing to give you. Flashpoint Subject 0. So So I'm not familiar with this character. So again, this might have been a time they went back to this timeline. I'm not for sure who these all are. Choose a foe. A foe chooses 2 for you. +4 power. Draw 2 cards or destruct the 2 cards in total in your hand or discard pile. I always love these as just a fun mental flex on your opponent, right? Because you're making them choose what's the worst for what they're willing to give up to you. Those are all our different heroes and villains. So let's look at some powers. We have Brutal Persuasion. Play a card from the main lineup, then return it or destroy it. Heroic Escape. So you're running away with Superman. +3 power, +1 power for each other timeline up card you control. Traverse timelines. I see looks like Billy Batson there, maybe dealing with Flash and seeing his different alternate timelines there, or the regular timeline. Draw a card at the end of the game. This is worth 2 victory points for every timeline up card you own. So that's a fun way to have this in the deck. We have the Speed Force, of course. So I like all the different universes. So we have, some different universes there, just different versions of the Justice League. I love that we have the Wildstorm universe up there, which is really cool. Ongoing, when you play a timeline up card, including this one, +1 power and draw a card. Counterattack. +4 power. Defense. Discard this card to avoid an attack. If you do, you may draw a card. The attacker must discard an attack card. So showing Reverse Flasher because he's the one that basically killed Barry Allen's mom to goad him, and then goading him back into doing that. He helped destroy the timeline. No more. You may destroy this card and any number of cards in your hand and discard pile. If you choose not to, +2 power and draw a card. This is kind of cool, right? At the end of the game, you play this, destroy lots of these, lots of your timeline up cards. Then we have some equipment. We have energy-resistant armor. Ongoing, draw 2 cards, then discard this card. Or defense, put this card from your hand into play to avoid an attack. So cool. So you can play this with defense to put it in. Now it's ready to do its ongoing effect. To draw 2 cards and you can discard this card. So you use it when you need it. The Atlantean Spear Gun. Play the bottom card of your deck. If it has a VP value of 0 or less, play this card again. So cheaper cards. Cosmic Treadmill. Ongoing, you may put the first card you gain from the main lineup during your turn directly into your hand. Geopulse Prison. +4 power. Attack each foe discards an ongoing card they control. You may draw a card for each ongoing card discarded this way. And then Queen Mara's Helm. So this is very significant. I'll get to what this is about a little bit later. +4 power. Defense. Discard this to avoid an attack. If you do, you may put any other defense cards in your discard pile into your hand. And then we get one location. We get New Themyscira. Ongoing, once per turn, you may avoid an attack. Nemesis attack between turns. So you can't use this to avoid. You can use this to play during that time. You can't do this to avoid Nemesis attacks. Be cool though if we had a second location that would have been Flash's laboratory, or even Resistance Hideout, or Flashpoint Batman's manor or something. That would have been kind of cool to have a second one. Alright, then we have our nemesis. So we're going to start with Flashpoint Penthesilea. I'm not sure who she is exactly either. Reward, you may gain the lowest cost card from any lineup. I'm guessing, though, most of these cards generally are either going to be part of Wonder Woman or Aquaman's team. Being a woman, she's probably Wonder Woman's. Flashpoint Prince Aurum. First appearance, attack. Each player gains the top card of the time lineup deck and add a weakness. Reward. At the end of your turn, you may put a card with a cost of 5 or less from your discard pile into your hand. Flashpoint Enchantress. First appearance attack. Each player discards a random card, then each player with a time lineup card in their discard pile discards a random card. Reward. Reveal the top card of the main deck. You may gain it or gain a card from any lineup with the same type as the revealed card. Flashpoint Gorilla Grodd. Definitely need Grodd in here if you're going to go with Flash set. So, first appearance attack. Each player reveals and destroys the top card of their deck. If you destroy the starter this way, repeat this once. Reward. You may destroy up to 3 cards in total that you control and are in your discard pile. So, this isn't as terrible if you bought a bunch of the time lamp cards, because you probably want to get rid of those. Here we have Flashpoint Emperor Aquaman with you see Mara there, and it's probably just their son and probably not Tempest. My guess is probably what this ended up being. But we have first appearance attack. Each player discards all cards cost of 1 or greater. The share cost of another card in your hand. You cannot gain a weakness. Reward, gain a card from any lineup. Then we also have a Flashpoint Queen Diana. Kind of showing some of their past behind them. First appearance attack. Each player puts a time lineup card in their hand or discard pile into the team lineup. Reward. You may destroy a card you control or in your discard pile. You may then gain any number of cards from the main lineup with the same card type as the destroyed card. So, I was going to explain the Mara thing. So, Mara's helm is what Wonder Woman is wearing. So, I don't remember exactly what happened. I know that Mara died. I believe Wonder Woman killed her. But I don't remember if she killed her because she thought she was going to betray the Aquaman, was going to betray them, or she was jealous of her being with Aquaman, or exactly the point behind it. But that's basically what drew the contention between Themyscira and Atlanteans going to battle. Wonder Woman and Aquaman going to battle against each other is Mara died. I believe Wonder Woman killed her. I still remember her exact motivation. But that's why she now wears her helmet. It's kind of like a, F you to Aquaman. Our last supervillain is Reverse Flash. First appearance, attack. The foe to your right passes each weakness in a discard pile into your discard pile. Reward. You may destroy any number of cards you control and in your discard piles. And then our final one, which is our blue one, which is our final character, we actually have the Flash. You might be like, why is the Flash in here as one of the nemesis? He caused this entire thing, so he's kind of like the biggest nemesis of Flashpoint. Unavoidable first appearance. Attack. Each player puts their hand and deck into their discard pile, then puts up to 5 cards at the cost of 0 in their discard pile into their hand. Kind of like resetting everything. But yeah, he's the final one, that's why he doesn't have a reward on him. So that's really cool that we get all them different other characters that you can play as, or fight against, different neat stuff. The extra time lineup thing is kind of neat, because unlike some of the other keywords and effects for some of the other stuff, I know like Legion had something with bouncing cards back and forth. The Arrow set had stuff putting cards under your character. Flash, the Rogue set used stuff like with victory points and just spending victory points and stuff like that. Bombshells use their bombshell special attacks. They're all very limited, but they're all kind of like, some of them aren't as useful unless you find cards with those things, so you have to kind of shuffle these crossovers near the top of a deck so you get them more often so they get used. And that's the like downside about them being so small and none of the keywords appearing again, because they're very useful together, but then they're not useful outside. You can see some of the main deck cards, some of the cards work very well, just in general in this set. The time lineup, some of them do require time lineup cards or abilities like that. So those things become a little bit more limited. What's neat about this one is because it becomes a separate full deck that you can purchase from. What's neat about that, though, is that is the fact that you can put this in any game and they're always available. Right. Alright, so now we're going to look at the Kickstarter exclusive cards. Alright, so we have 2 brand new big characters, but now instead of heroes, we're going to get some supervillains to play as. So we're going to have Queen Diana. So when you buy a superpower from the lineup, you may put it under this. We just talked about having Arrow doing that, so it's kind of neat that we're going to get another card that does that. At the end of your turn, you may put a superpower under this one on top of your deck. Cards remaining under this are counted towards endgame VP totals. So I do like that as a little bit of a mechanic. Being able to like put cards under you to utilize later. And then we have Emperor Aquaman, if you want to go the Aquaman route. Once during each of your turns, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a cost of 5 or greater, you may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. So they play very differently, which is always nice. I'm glad when they make opposite kind of cards like this, they're not like one does this and the other one does the opposite. So we have some new heroes. We have the Resistance, which they possibly Black Canary. There's Canterbury Cricket. There's Intrigon. There's a zombie guy. I'm not sure who that is. And they play any number of heroes in the lineups, then destroy them and this card. If you choose not to, +5 power. Getting a new villain card, we have the Furies. So teaming up with... It's very interesting, though, why they'd be teaming up with... possibly teaming up with Wonder Woman. I get their female characters. Cheetah makes sense, because y'all have been a Wonder Woman adjacent thing, but like why Hawkwoman or Huntress did, not really entirely sure. With +5 power, each foe may draw a card. For each card drawn this way, +2 power. Chronokinesis. Play 3 cards from the main lineup, then destroy this card, and each card played this way. Like you can destroy stuff in the main lineup too as well. And then the last one is the Trident of Atalan. +4 power, attack each foe gains a weakness. Destroy each defense card used to avoid this attack. So cool. There's some neat stuff for each of the different characters. That is what we have for Flashpoint. So yeah, really fun, interesting new mechanics. Neat little set. If you enjoy that, you can pick that up, get an extra little thing adding to any of the base games. With the exception, obviously, of you can't really add it. You might not be able to really work using the Injustice, or definitely probably not Rebirth. Rebirth's kind of its own little thing. But again, you can always try it. The worst that happens is you have to make up little rules to figure out how certain things work here and there. Injustice, again, you could add these in there. They just aren't going to have maybe some of the attacks or be as effective as some of the other ones. But yeah, definitely cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out all the other DC deck building videos I'm doing. Hit me up in the comments if you have questions or want to just say whatever. Love to hear from you. See you guys later. Bye.